So Matt, a nice quiet week?
Yeah, another quiet week. It's been interesting, certainly the last few months. A lot of things have obviously gone on around the place, and it's up to us as players now to put everything behind us in terms of what's happened, and move on to the next. And the next game's Friday, and it's a massive game for us.
Won't go into what happened before Friday last week, but the moment that sort of Russell and Steve took the job, as a captain, did you feel a sort of extra onus to do your bit as well?
Yeah, you always do. You know, certainly as a captain in this club, I take responsibility for what's happening at the club and the way it's gone this season, and you know it hurts the predicament that we're in. So it's a case of the lads working as hard as they possibly can and really sort of fighting for their lives at the moment. And like I say, Friday's a massive game for us.
Yeah, the spirit seems to have sort of changed, and there were the very upward signs on Saturday with the huddle and the sort of applauding, making the attempt to applaud the fans after the warm up. Was that something that was spoken about before the game to try and get the fans on side? Yeah,
I think the management knew. Well, obviously the new management knew that the fans would be on their side anyway,
yeah.
And it was just to give them an extra boost. But now it's the players' responsibility to give them something, you know, results and goals to shout about and clean sheets and things like that. So it's easy us doing huddles and getting the fans going. We've got to give them something on the pitch. That's the most important thing, and that's what's going to get us out of danger.
Has that been almost a conversation this week that we've almost had a running start at it, but now it's crunch time?
Yeah, without a doubt. Obviously the new staff who've been here anyway, but not in the capacity that they are now, will have probably settled in a little bit more. They'll know more about how they want us to play, and we'll, as players, we sort of start to understand the way that they're going to work. So it's a case of everyone settling in again, and then looking forward to the game. Really, you know, we've got 15 games left, and each one's going to be a massive game. And like I said before, we're going to have to start showing that attitude where we're absolutely fighting for our lives.
Yeah, Accrington on a Friday night. It's apparently going to rain all day tomorrow. Is that the kind of game that you look and think that's one for a centre half?
Oh, possibly, yeah. I've not seen the pitch up there, so you know, I can't say what the pitch is like. But obviously, traditionally, it's a tough place to go. But as are most away games in this league, you know, you're going to get tested. So we've got to stand up to that test, and I think we've shown enough signs, certainly in the second half or the last hour of last weekend's performance to give us a bit of confidence.
They've got one T. Gornell in their side. How much has he been spoken about this week?
Not too much. Obviously, we've seen him scored a few goals. Yeah. I mean, you know, we're pleased for him. You know, he wasn't playing here, and you know, whoever's choice that is, it's not for us to comment on really. And he was a great lad. He was a real honest pro, and even when he wasn't scoring but playing for Cheltenham, he put in the shift. Yeah. So he was popular amongst the players. So you know, you want him to see him be successful and go on to sort of score goals at Accrington, but obviously Friday we'll be hoping to keep him quiet.
Yeah, is it the kind of one where you'll have a little conversation when you first sort of come up against each other?
Not really, no. You know, the pleasantries, you'll say hello and what have you, and then the game will start, and then you know it's 90 minutes of aggressive play, and then after the game you shake hand and wish him all the best. But like I said, he was a top lad. You know, a lot of the lads who weren't being involved in the last couple of months were really professional about it. You know, the club could have gone the other way, where the lads who weren't being involved or were being sort of left out could have gone the opposite way and disrupted the group, but they didn't. They really carried on to put a shift in, and it was just unfortunate the way things happened.
Obviously, next final 15 games are important, but the next 4 are probably even more so.
Yeah.
Has there been a talk about sort of steeling yourself for those 4 games, or even a target of what you want to get out of those next 4
Not
games?
really, no. We're looking just at the next game. We can't. We're not in a position to look any further ahead. You know, we know what we need to do in terms of a target for the end of the season, just to stave off relegation. And you know, it starts Friday. We'll look to get a positive result there, and then you know, like you just said, we've got 3 or 4 more big games, but every game's a big game. And there's no reason why if we start the game better than we have done the last couple of weeks against the real top teams, there's no reason why we can't. You know, we should be favouring anyone in this league.
It's an attitude thing to take those performance levels from, say, the Bury game into a game against a team in the bottom.
Yeah,
4 or 5.
Yeah. I mean, you've probably seen the way we started the last few games. It's no surprise. There's so much been going on. No matter what players say in terms of staying professional and what have you, and doing the best to have the mindset on the game, everything does affect you. You know, you've got to be 100% focused, no matter what happens. And then we probably took our eye off the ball just to start with on Saturday, and that cost us, you know, two goals going in. So that was disappointing. But then we showed enough character after that to get back into the game.
Asked Russ the same question. Would you take a clean sheet above anything else on Friday night?
I'd just take a win, and then clean sheet is bonus. But they'll start coming.